So, I will be discussing to you Lesson 1 of our Math 1-1 module, Basic Functions. So first, let's define what is a function. It is a set of ordered pairs, usually x and y, such that the x value does not repeat for two or more ordered pairs. So, ang example dito, 1, 2, 2, 3, and 3, 4. Hindi siya function if yung x value, yung nasa left side ng ordered pair niya, does not repeat. Kung example dito 1 and 1, sa 1 and 1 dito may 1 na naman dito, sabihin nag-repeat siya, hindi siya function. Dito unique ang mga x values niya, sabihin function siya. Next, how are functions represented? So, there are actually 5 ways to represent a function. Unang-una, an ordered pair. Pares pinakita kanina, 1, 2, 2, 3, and 3, 4. A table of values na naman, it's like a more organized version of an ordered pair. So, ditong sa left column is a list of all the x values and their corresponding y values, or 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and 3 to 4. Sa equation na naman, you can also define a function as an equation. So, equation is a more, how do I say this? A more universal definition of a function. So, paras dito, 1, 2, 2, 3, and 3, 4. Pero sa equation na naman, parang it describes the whole function itself. So, example, maglagay ka dito ng x value. Example, nawala dito. Example, 4. F of 4 is equals to x plus 1. So f of 4 is equals to 4 plus 1. So, f of 4 plus 1 is 5. So, makalalagay na tayo ng another entry to the order first. So, 4, 5. So, basically, our equation is a more generalized representation of a function. Okay, gets? Okay. So, the fourth way to represent a function is through mapping. So, parang a bit similar siya sa table na meron dito list of x values and they correspond to their y values. For this time, you are to connect the x value to their corresponding y value, pa-connect siya dito using an arrow or a line. Parang dito 1, pa-connect siya sa 2, and 2 napunta sa 3, 3 napunta siya sa 4. It is a graph. So, another way to represent a function sa graph. Actually, dito na sinasabi na wait, saan ang eraser? So, sa equation dito, in equation, this is usually used to describe actually the graph here. I-describe niya ang graph, paano ang behavior ng graph. Sabi dun, f of x is equals to x plus 1. So, maglalagay ka dito, x value is, x is equals to 1. O, 1 dito. Dito ang 1. Dito ang 1. Dito naman ang, what is the corresponding y value? Pwede mo tignan sa graph. O, sa x value of 1, nakakonect siya dito sa y value of 2. So, para sa last one, 1 and 2, na-correspond siya sa ordered pair. Okay, how do we evaluate a function? Find the value of a function given f of x or y given an x value. So, parang tinuro ko na, parang binigay ko na sa'yo, sinayin nyo kanina. Sample, f of x equals 2x. So, kung nag-replace ang x dito sa f of x with a number, ibig sabihin, ang binigay na dyan, ang given na x value. So, f of 1 is equals to 2 times 1. So, f of 1 is equals to 2. O, ito naman, y is equals to x squared minus 2. So, ang given is x is equals to 2. So, kung ang given is x equals to 2, i-substitute ang 2 with x. So, y is equals to 2 squared. 2 squared minus 2. So, 2 times 2 squared is 2. 2 squared is 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. So, y is equals to 2. Operations of functions na naman tayo. Okay, sum and difference of functions. Kung hindi nyo masyado guess itong symbol to, huwag kayo mag-alala. Ibig sabihin lang yan, it's to condense lang sum and difference. So, ibig sabihin nito, if f plus g or f minus g of x, kung mag-add ka daw ng two functions, or mag-minus ka ng two functions, you're basically adding or subtracting the content of those functions. Like, ang nilalaman yan, nina-add mo lang or nisa-subtract mo lang. Example dito, given f of x is equals to 3x and g of x is equals to x minus 2. So, kung gusto mo i-add siya, na-add mo lang ang nilalaman. Fx is equals to 3x. So, 3x. Gx is equals to x minus 2. So, substitute ang fx nagiging 3x, ang gx nagiging x minus 2. So, i-add mo like terms, 3x plus x equals to 4x minus 2. So, f plus g of x is equals to 4x minus 2. Subtraction na naman. F of x is equals to 5x squared and g of x is equals to x minus 4. So, parang medyo medyo pares lang siya sa addition. F minus g of x is equals to fx minus g of x. So, i-minus mo lang ang mga nilalaman ng mga functions if you want to find the difference of two functions or two or more functions. So, ang fx is 5x squared. Substitute with 5x squared. G of x nagiging x minus 4. So, 5x squared minus x, the quantity of x minus 4. So, ang final answer, f minus g of x is equals to 5x squared minus x plus 4. Na naman, f times the product of functions. For the first four operations, medyo intuitive naman siya. Parang alam nyo na kagad paano sila how they work. Kasi medyo pares lang sila sa how you add, subtract, multiply, and divide mga numbers, mga variables. Pares lang din siya. So, pares lang dito. If gusto mo i-multiply ang dalawang functions, you have to multiply yung nilalaman ng dalawang functions. So, example, dito din, another thing to note, a function can be denoted with any letter, any unique letter. Kaya makahanap kayo ng ganito mga letters, iba't ibang letters sa mga problems. Ibig sabihin, parang may bagong pangalan lang with the function. So, k of x is equals to 4x minus 1. And j of x is equals to 2x. So, kung gusto mo i-multiply, k of j, magkahanap din kayo ganitong klaseng problem. If mag-operation kayo of function, tapos may given din x value, ang usually muna ginagawa is substitute muna ang x with with the given x value. Tapos, after mawala na mga x value, mga unknown variables, that's the time na pwede mo na i-compress, gawing isang number na lang. So, k times j of 3 equals to 4x minus 1. 4x minus 1 times 2x. Tapos, ang x, ni-change siya. Ang x, change siya to 3. Change lang ang x to 3. Kasi given na 3 ang x. So, k times j of 3 is equals to, 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 minus 1 is 11. 2 times 3 is 6. 11 times 6 is 66. So, 66 ang product of the functions k and j with the given x being 3. Quotient of functions. Parasan din yan. F divided by g of x is equals to fx minus gx. So, gusto mo i-divide ang dalawang functions, i-divide mo ang mga nilalaman nila. Okay, dito. A of x, may example dito. A of x is equals to x squared minus 4. B of x is equals to x plus 2. So, A divided by B of x is equals to A of x divided by B of x. So that is equals to x squared minus 4. Ang ax na punta dito sa taas, ang ax dito, and bx na pupunta sa baba, which is x plus 2. So, one way to solve this kasi is, sana maalala nyo pa parang tinuro pa sa inyo, the law of the difference of two squares. So, nakasabi, if a squared plus b squared is equals to, joke lang, wait lang. So, a squared minus b squared is equals to a minus b, the quantity of a minus b times a plus b. So, paano natin ito ma-apply dito? Since x squared is a square siya, may square dito, and 4 is, square siya ng 2. So, we can expand this to x minus 2 and x plus 2 all over x plus 2. So, paano natin ito ma-simplify? Pwede natin ito ma-cross out itong x plus 2 and x plus 2. Maiwan na lang yung x minus 2. So, a divided by b of x is equals to x minus 2. Gets nyo? Sige. Parang, gets. Okay. Last one of the operations of functions, the composite functions. Pero medyo mahirap-hirap to. So, what it says here is f composed of g of x is equals to f of g of x. So, di ba for the previous problems, nakasabi dito na f of x, ang x is unknown when di binibigay ang value usually kung nagsasabi f of x. Dito, parang dito, ang g of x is treated as a variable itself. So parang, tingnan mo natin ang example. W of x is equals to 3x minus 2 and z of x is equals to 2x. W composed of z of x is equals to w of z of x. So, tingnan mo dito. Ang x dito, ano lang nagiging dito? Nagiging z of x. So, we're treating z of x as the value for the x, the unknown variable. So, parang a function within a function siya. Parang a function within a function. Parang pinapasok siya, parang kaya compose. Parang pinapasok ang linalaman ng function within a function. So, z of x is equals to 2x. So, ang zx dito, z of x, nagiging 2x to the 3 times 2x minus 2. So, w compose z of x is equals to 6x minus 2. Gets? Kailangan nyo muna mag-practice dito para mas lalong mag-gets nyo. May problems yan sa module nyo. Okay. Representing real-life situations using functions. The practicality in math. So, may problem tayo dito. In Zamboanga City, during the quarantine period, a jeepney ride cost 10 pesos for the first 4 kilometers and an additional 2 pesos is charged for every kilometer thereafter. How much will the fare cost if you traveled 9.4 kilometers? So, unang-una, we can simplify, we can solve this problem by first stating the variables. Stating muna anong alam natin. So, ang fare cost, alam natin, in 10 pesos lang ang price ng fare if you travel less than or equal to 4 kilometers. So, dadadag yan ng 2 pesos for every additional kilometer kung mag-exceed ka na ng 4 kilometers. Gets? Okay, next tayo. We can represent this in two functions. So, f of x is equals to 10 if x is less than or equal to 4. So, sabihin na ang price is 10 if the x is less than or equal to 4, which x being the kilometers. So, another function, f of x is equals to 10 plus 2 times the quantity of x minus 4 if the x is greater than 4. So, parang kung mag-exceed siya ng 4 kilometers, sabihin, sample 5 kilometers siya. If x is 5, ang x will be 5, x minus 4 is 1, and then the fare will be 10 plus 2 times 1 is 12. 12 pesos. So, we can further represent this function into one function only, in one piecewise function. F of x is equals to 10 if x is greater than or equal to 4, and 10 plus 2 times x minus 4, the quantity of x minus 4 if x is greater than 4. Okay. So, hinahanap na anong price if we travel 9.4 meters. Since 9.4 meters is greater than 4 meters, then, ang gagamitin natin na function is f of x equals to 10 plus 2 times the quantity of x minus 4. So, ang x nagiging 9.4. So, 10 plus 2 times the quantity of 19.4 minus 4. Tapos 10 plus 2 times 5.4. So, usually yan, kasi nila-round up natin kung about sa jeepney fares, nila-round up natin. Sa example, 5.1 kilometers ka na travel. Considered na yan as 6 kilometers. So, ang 5.4 nila-round up to 6. 10 plus 2 times 6. That is 22 pesos. That's all. I hope you understood this lesson. Okay, so today we are going to discuss your lesson 2 of the Mathemagisian module or rational functions. Una, let's first define what are rational functions. So a rational function is a function of the form of f of x is equals to p of x divided by q of x, where p of x and q of x are polynomials and q of x is not a zero function or equal to 0. Example, f of x equals to x cubed plus 43x minus 2 all over 2x raised to the power 4 minus x squared. Since both to dalawa polynomials, so ibig sabihin, this is a rational function. Kasi, what you need to know kasi, to a rational function, basically, parang magdi-divide lang siya ng polynomial all over a polynomial. So, kung magkita ka ng polynomial, tapos ang denominator naman, polynomial, and then may function dito, sabihin, this is a rational function. Dito not an example. F of x equals to x squared minus 2x all over 2x squared minus 2x squared. Bakit kaya to hindi rational function? Kasi sabi dito, is not a zero function or equal to 0. Na kung minus man to, 2x squared minus 2x squared is equals to 0. Anything divided by 0, it will come off as undefined. Kaya hindi siya considered as rational function. How are rational functions represented? Step 1. Represent the unknown in the problem. Step 2. Write the equation that describes the problem. Okay, example ito. The average speed or velocity can be computed by the formula S is equals to d over t. Consider a 100-meter track used for foot races. The speed of a runner can be computed by taking the time it will take him to run the track and applying it to the formula S equals to 100 over t. Since this distance is fixed at 100 meters, represent the speed of a runner as a function of the time it takes to run 100 meters in the track. Okay, first step, represent the unknown in the problem. Since the speed of a runner depends on the time it takes the runner to run 100 meters, you can represent speed as a function of time. So speed. We can denote a function as s for speed as a function of time. So ang variable is time. Let x represent the time it takes for the runner to run 100 meters. So since time, ni-represent natin ang time as x, so it will be s of x. So another thing alam natin is na 100 meters ang distance, 100 meters. And then it is also a function of time. So a function of time. Kaya ang time na sa ilalim, like sinabi dito sa last slide, 100 over t. So we have dito our function s of x. So kung maglalagay ka ng time dito as a value of x, we will get the speed of the runner. Kasabi dito. Example, may runner nag-run in 100 meters in, let's say, in 10 seconds. Mabilis yan. 100 meters in 10 seconds. Kaya, let's substitute it. X is equals to 10 seconds. So, S10 is equals to 100 meters all over 10 seconds. So, the resulting speed is equals to 10 meters per second. 10 meters per second ang speed ng runner. Rational expressions na naman. What are they and how to solve them? What is a rational expression? It is an equation with equal sign involving rational expression. So parang para sa last time, parang a rational expression is basically parang equation lang siya, pero it mostly involves two mga polynomials on as a numerator and the denominator. Example na naman. Ito 2 over x is equals to 3 minus 1 over x squared. This is a monomial actually. Monomial. This is also a monomial. And dito may another monomials in there. So since there are polynomials on both sides, this is a rational expression. Not an example. Square root of x of 6x cube all over 2 is equals to 3. Ba't kaya to hindi example ng rational expression? Kasi dito kasi dito is may square root dito. And actually, if you're going to convert a square root to exponent, it will going to be 6x cube square root of it will be converted to 6x cube raised to the power of 1/2. So, ano ba ang definition ng polynomial? Di ba nakasabi ang mga exponents in a polynomial should be an integer. Since 1/2 is not an integer, hindi siya integer. That means this is not a polynomial. So in turn, this is not a rational expression or rational equation. How to solve a rational expression? Step 1. Find the LCD of all denominators. Step 2. Multiply both sides to the LCD. And step 3. Solve the equation. Example. Solve for the value of x. Solve for the value of x of this equation. 2 over x minus 3 over 2x is equals to 1 over 5. Find the LCD. Diba since mahanap natin ang LCD is equals to 10x. One trick, kung hindi nyo talaga mahanap ang LCD, minsan kasi parang mahirapan ka na maghanap ng LCD kung masyadong complex na ang mga denominators. Ang ginagawa ko lang, i-multiply ko lang ang mga denominators. Kahit hindi siya ang LCD, pwede mo pa rin siya i-multiply at i-simplify mo lang. So 2x times x equals to 2x squared times 5 equals to 10x squared. Kung ano mo siya kung multiply mo ang 10x squared dito, ano mo siya it will still produce it will still lead you to the same answer, pero may konting extra step lang kasi hindi siya ang LCD. Pero kung mahanap nyo ang LCD talaga, like madali lang siya mahanap, then good, much easier siya. Pero kung hindi kayo mahirapan kayo dyan, you can just multiply the denominators. Step 2, multiply both sides to the LCD or 10x to 10x times 2 is 20. 20x divided by x equals to 20. 10x times 3 is 30x divided by 2x is 15. 10x times 1 is 10x divided by 5 is 2x. Solve the equation. Mahanap na natin ang final answer. So x is equals to 5 over 2. Rational inequalities naman. Ito masyadong mahaba-haba to. What is a rational inequality? It is an inequality symbol such as greater than, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to, involving rational expressions. Parang, since alam nyo na ang rational expressions, parang polynomial divided by polynomial, basically, replace na ang equal sign with these symbols. Example, 2x divided by 5 greater than x squared minus divided by 2. Not an example. 2 divided by x equals to x cubed all over x minus 3. But kaya to? Obvious naman din bakit hindi to inequality. Kasi may equal sign dito. Kaya hindi siya inequality. How to solve a rational inequality? Step 1. Rewrite the inequality as a single fraction on one side of the inequality symbol and 0 on the other side. Step 2. Find the zeros of the numerator and restrictions on the denominator. Step 3. Divide the number line into two intervals using the zeros and the restrictions of the denominator as partition points. Step 4. Choose convenient test points in the intervals to determine the sign of a rational inequality. Construct a table of signs. Step 5. Write the solution set. Example. Solve for the solution set of the rational inequality. 2x divided by x plus 1 is greater than or equal to 1. Step 1, i-move ang 1 papunta sa left side. So, dito transposition natin. Kaya naging 2x divided by x plus 1 minus 1. Next. Para we can make the left side into a single fraction, we're going to convert 1 into x plus 1 all over x plus 1. Nangyari. Basta x plus 1 over x plus 1. Since x plus 1 divided by x plus 1 is still equal to 1, pero the denominator is equal na to dito. Pares na sila. So, pwede mo na i-combine itong dalawa. Ang both numerators. So, 2x minus x is equals to x. Minus 1 kasi minus man to. Kaya naging minus ang 1. So, our new inequality is x minus 1 all over x plus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. Step 2. Find the zeros of the numerator and restrictions of the denominator. So, this part is very easy. You just need to equate both the numerator and the denominator to 0. Kung ano ang value ng x for the numerator, that is a 0. And then for the denominator, that is a restriction. You take in mind, kasi gagamitin natin ito later for our solution set. Step 3, divide the number line into intervals using the zeros at the restriction of the denominator in the partition points. Diba nakasabi dito sa last time, x equals to 1 and x is equals to negative 1. Dito, may line dito, sa x sa negative 1, pati sa 1. Kaya, divide ang number line into 3 parts. The intervals are negative infinity to negative 1 papunta dito. Negative infinity hanggang negative 1. Negative 1 hanggang 1. And 1 to positive infinity. Yan ang mga intervals natin. Step 4. Choose convenient test points in the intervals to determine the sign of the rational inequality. Construct a table of signs. Ito, parang masyadong titingin ko, last year kasi nakita, na witness ko na marami din nakakalito in this part. So, remember nyo to, ang intervals, pati ang mga zeros. Ito ang zeros, pati denominator. Yan ang kailangan nyo i-kopya papunta sa factors and integrals. Diyan lang i-kopya nyo. And, test point. So, dito given na to na sa test point, i-kopya mo lang to x equals to this number. Pares lang x equals to. Pero dito, so basically, ang hanapin nyo, dito di ba, ang interval dito, negative infinity to negative 1 dito. So, ang hanap kayo ng x value dito, any x value na that will fall in line in this interval. So, in this case, pinili natin negative 2 because it falls in line in the interval negative infinity to negative 1. Dito na naman, sa negative 1 to 1, pinili natin 0 because it falls in line between this interval. Para sa dito, sa 1 and positive infinity. Dito. So, basically, hanapin mo lang, just pick any x value that will fall in line in the intervals. Pwede kasi it will still result in the same signs dito sa baba sa table of signs, basta it falls in line with the same intervals lang. Pwede ka din, hindi lang negative 2 ilalagay dito. pwede ka din maglalagay ng negative 3, negative 4, basta it falls in line with this, the negative infinity over negative 1. O kasi, negative 2. Substitute natin ang negative 2 with dito sa x, dito sa x, mga x dito. So, kung result natin ay negative, ilalagay natin ng negative. So, negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3, which is negative. Negative 2 minus, negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1, which is still negative. Bakit kaya ito naka-highlight ang mga baba mga plus pati 0? Kasi as if, if you remember, ang hinahanap natin is greater than or equal to 0. So, kung greater than, anong mga numbers na greater than 0? Siyempre, mga positive integers. So, kung nagkasabi din ng positive, ibig sabihin, it falls in line with the inequality na hinahanap natin. And it's greater than or equal, kasi equal, ibig sabihin, 0 is also included. So, nahanap natin na ang factors na integers that falls in line with this is negative 8 and negative infinity to negative 1, negative 1 and positive infinity, and 1 itself. So, what does it mean? Diba sabi dito na negative infinity to negative 1 kasali dito. Pero bakit hindi kasali ang negative 1? Kasi undefined. So, hindi siya kasali sa solution set. Ang meaning nito is that parang, diba may number line dito, negative 1, negative 2 hanggang papunta dyan. Kung kasali ang solution set, kasali ang negative infinity to negative 1 but not negative 1, ibig sabihin parang makaabot lang siya hanggang sa boundary lang talaga ng negative 1, pero hindi na siya nagtatouch ng negative 1. Parang hindi siya nagtatouch, pero ang lapit lang talaga niya. So, write the solution set. So this negative infinity to negative 1. Ang meaning naman, kung shaded ang dot dito, shaded dito, sabihin, kasali ang value na naka-label. Since kasali ang 1, sabihin, kasali siya sa solution set. And you can, aside from shaded, we can also represent na kasali ang 1 by this bracket, itong bracket. Pag parenthesis, sabihin parang palapit lang to that value, pero hindi kasali ang value na yan. Pag hollow na naman, sinabi lang kanina, parang papalapit lang sa negative 1, pero hindi kasali ang negative 1 sa solution set. So, the solution set is negative infinity to negative 1, and union with 1 and positive infinity. Solving rational functions na naman tayo. Example, find the vertical asymptotes, horizontal asymptotes, domain, range, x and y intercepts of the given function. F of x is equals to 3x plus 1 divided by 2x minus 5. Okay, let's first define what are asymptotes. Asymptotes are the line partition of a graph, a straight line where a function approaches but never touches. But example, di ba may yung graph kasi na example, may yung graph dito, parang may pa-curve, parang may sila na approach na invisible line, pero hindi talaga tina-touch, pero ina-approach lang talaga sila. That is an asymptote. It is where the domain and range of a rational function does not lie. So that is the only exception, ang only place na hindi kasali ang function, parang hindi kasali ang domain and range. Discuss ko na ito mamaya. Finding the vertical asymptote. To find the vertical asymptote, the denominator is equated to 0 and the result is the equation for the vertical asymptote. O, di ba ang denominator nan is 2x minus 5. So 2x minus 5 is equals to 0, 2x is equals to 5, x is equals to 5 over 2. Ba't kaya ito ang in-equate to 0 to 5? Oh my god. In-equate ito to 0 para hanapin ang vertical asymptote. Kasi what if di ba nahanap na dito? X is equals to 5 over 2. I-replace natin ang 5 over 2 to x dito. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 minus 5 na 0. Ano mangyari sa graph? Edi, siya, magiging undefined niya siya on that point. So basically, manghanap ka ng vertical asymptote, that is basically the restriction ng graph. Parang that the reason bakit dito sa graph dito nagre-reach dito kasi if the y value is this, this line is located on this line, magiging magiging undefined ang function on that part of the graph. Kaya meron line na parang itsurang nag-approach ang graph. Therefore, the vertical asymptote is located at x is equals to 5 over 2. The domain of the graph is x of x, the elements of all real numbers where x is not equal to 5 over 2. So, sabi sa inyo last time, the domain of the graph is every x value except the vertical asymptote. Kasi sinabi last time na kanina lang na the domain and the asymptotes is where the domain in which does not lie, kung saan hindi located ang domain in which ng rational function. Example, to find the horizontal asymptote na naman is in finding the horizontal asymptote, one must first see the degree of the numerator and the denominator. Example, meron last time natin nakita na 3x plus 1. Ang tingnan natin ang first term dito. Ano ang exponent na nakakalagay dito? Yan ang tingnan natin para mahanap ang horizontal asymptote. Case 1, when the degree of the numerator is lesser than the denominator. Example is lesser, sabihin example dito may x equals to 1 and sa baba na naman is 2. Sabihin pa lesser ang degree ng numerator with the degree of the denominator. Then the horizontal asymptote is always as y is equals to 0. So always may invisible line na nag-approach ang graph kung the degree of the numerator is lesser than the denominator at y is equals to 0. Diyan ang invisible line. Case 2 na naman, if the leading coefficient of the numerator a and the denominator b have the same degree. Dito ang tag na a and b is this, the numerical coefficient ang hinahanap. Ang coefficient dito, ang first coefficient. Pero ito ang importante, ang mga numerical coefficient. If the leading coefficient of the numerator a and the denominator b have the same degree, the horizontal asymptote is y is equals to a divided by b. In case 2 naman, when the degree of the numerator is greater than the denominator. So, example, ang degree sa taas, 4, ang raised to the power 4, sa baba, raised to the power 3. Then, wala siyang horizontal asymptote. Pero may special case naman din, pero wag na lang pag-usapan yan. In this case na naman, since pares ang degree 1 and 1, degree ng numerator and denominator 1 naman, then case 2 ang rational function na to. So, hence, to find the horizontal asymptote, i-divide ang 3 to 2. And then, yun ang equation for the horizontal asymptote. So, the y is equals to 3 over 2. I-graph yan. Parang, it's usually parang dotted line. Parang dashed line. That is, y is equals to 3 over 2. Therefore, the horizontal asymptote is located at y is equals to 3 over 2. Dito naman, so the range of the graph is y of y. Y is an element of all real numbers where mali to ha, mali to, naka-typo. That is y, where y is not equal to 3 over 2. So that ang range ng graph is every real number na nasa graph except for 3 over 2. Finding the zeros of x-intercepts the function. Zeros and x-intercepts sa function, they are both naman the same thing, pero they're called naman differently. To find the zeros and x-intercepts of a rational function, the numerator must be equated to 0. Numerator na naman equal to 0. Numerator naman equal to 0. 3x plus 1 is equals to 0. 3x equals to negative 1. X equals, so the zeros of the function is negative 1 over 2. And that is the x coordinate, ha? So that will negative 1 over 3 and 0. That is the coordinate of the 0 or x-intercept ng function. Graph of the example na. Ito ang graph natin. That is the itong red line, that is our function. And ito, y is equals to 3 over 2. Dito ang 3 over 2. This dash line dito, that is our horizontal asymptote. And ito, x is equals to 5 over 2. Dito, ang vertical asymptote, 5 over 2. Dito siya. Parang, di ba nakakita, pero parang nag-approach ang parts ng graph dito on these points, on these lines. Pero hindi sila nagtouch talaga, pero naglalapit-lapit talaga sila. Our x-intercept is at negative 1 over 3 and negative 1/3 0. Dito pamalit siya konti. Dito ang x-intercept. Y-intercept na naman 0 and negative 1/5. Dito kung saan siya nagtatouch sa x-axis and sa y-axis. Diyan ang x-intercept pati y-intercept. That's all. I hope you learned a lot in this. Okay, so today we're going to discuss your third lesson of the Math 101 module, 1-to-1 and inverse fractions. Okay, first let's define what are 1-to-1 functions. A 1-to-1 function is, the function is 1-to-1 if for any x sub 1 and x sub 2 in the domain of f, then f of x sub 1 is not equals to f of x sub 1. That is, the same y value is never paired with two different x values. We can determine if a function is 1-to-1 using the horizontal line test. So, kapag tinuro na siguro sa inyo itong horizontal line test. So, basically, pero ipag-define ko na lang para maintindihan ng lahat. So, what is a horizontal line test? Basically, you graph mo na a function. Example, may function dito. Ay, pangit ang line. May function dito. Itong coordinate axis. So, horizontal line test, tignan kung if mag-draw ka ng line, horizontal line in a graph, tapos kung if the horizontal line intersects with the graph more than once, sabihin hindi siya 1-to-1 function. May naka-touch siya dito, may naka-touch na dito. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya 1-to-1 function. Dito naman, may example naman dito. Since horizontal line test dito, isa lang naka-touch dito. Dito naman, isa naman ang touch dito. Hanggang sa, repeating na siya hanggang sa taas. Sabihin, y is equals to x cube. Ito ang which means y equals to x cubed is a 1-to-1 function. Ito na naman. Since naka-intersect sa dito twice, sabihin hindi siya 1-to-1 function. Usually, kung you can detect na lang muna if a function is 1-to-1 if ang exponent niya wala siyang even exponents. So mga 3, 1, usually mga ganyang klaseng function, polynomial function ay 1-to-1 din kung ang wala silang mga even exponent, kagaya dito may 2 dito. Inverse of a 1-to-1 function. What is it and how to solve for it? What is the inverse of a 1-to-1 function? Let f be a 1-to-1 function with a domain A and a range B. The inverse of f denoted by f negative 1 is a function with a domain B and a range A defined by f negative 1 of y is equals to x if and only if f of x equals to y for any y in B. To find the inverse, interchange x and y variables of a 1-to-1 function and solve for y in terms of x. An inverse is denoted by f negative 1 of s. So basically, malito to. Para sa module man to galing ang definition. So basically, 1-to-1 function, may function ka dito. May example to x. F of x is equals to x cube minus 2 minus 2x. So, ang inverse ng 1-to-1 function is basically, change muna natin ang f of x to y equals to x cube, oh my god, minus 2x. Basically, inverse of a 1-to-1 function, parang pinalitan lang ang x to y, parang nag-change roles lang sila. So, ang y naging x and x naging y. X is equals to y cube minus 2x. Ano naman? So ang inverse ng 1-to-1 function is y to. Is parang ni-equate to as a new function with y in terms, with f in terms of x. Parang ang y pinapunta sa other side and x sa right side, and then gawin siya traditional function. We'll discuss on that further. Sample, find the inverse of a 1-to-1 function. F of x equals to x cube minus 2. Ni-change mo na to the y equals to x cube minus 2 ang f of x. So, ni-change ang y to x, and x to y. Tapos, we're going to reformat it into y is equals to a function of x. So, y cube is equals to x plus 2. Y is equals to cube root of x plus 2. So, ito na ang bagong function, which is the inverse of x cube minus 2. Therefore, the inverse of f of x equals to x cube minus 2 is f negative 1 of x is equals to 3 of cube root of x plus 2. So, ang gawin nyo lang, substitute, interchange y to x to y, and then solve for the new function from y is equals to a function of x. Properties of a 1-to-1 function. The inverse of f negative 1 of x is f of x. So, example, may gawa tayo ng inverse function. And let f of x be, let's say, 2x minus 1. No? Then, let's make it into inverse function. X equals, ang y to f of x equals y. Ang y nagiging x and x nagiging y. Y is equals to 1. And then, the transpose x to y is equals to x plus 1. And then, y is equals to x plus 1 all over 2. So kung f negative 1 of x equals to x plus 1 all over 2. So let's hanapin na naman din ang inverse of that inverse. O na? So change na naman ang y to x. Ang y nagiging x siya. Nagiging x, and x naging y plus 1 by 2 2x y plus 1, and then y is equals to 2x minus 1. O, bumalik tayo dito. O, balik tayo dito. And dito naman, f, oh my god, mahirap to basahin. F of f negative 1 of x is equals to x for all x in the domain of f of negative 1. So what this means, let's use this example again. So f of x is equals to 2x minus 1. So ang value of x naman dito is the inverse. So since ang inverse is x plus 1 divided by 2, f of x plus 1 divided by 2 is equals to 2 x plus 1 divided by 2 over I minus 1. So cancel out. Tapos plus 1 minus 1. So we will be left with x. Para lang din sa if you're going to do it the other way around. So ang inverse function na naman, we will take in the x as the original 1-to-1 function. Dito for this property. That's it. Thank you for listening and good luck with your exams. Okay, so today we will be tackling your last lesson for the before your midterm, exponential functions, or lesson 4. What are exponential functions exactly? An exponential function with base b is a function of the form f of x is equals to b of x, or y is equals to b of x, where b is greater than 0 and b is not equal to 1. Example, f of x equals to 1/4 of all raised to the power of x. Another example na naman is g of x is equals to negative 1, negative 2 raised to the power of x. Ba't kaya? Kasi sabi dito, b has to be greater than 0. Since it's negative 2 naman to, that means that negative 2 is not greater than 0. And this is not a exponential function. Actually, kung i-graph mo to, kung i-plot mo to, hindi siya parang smooth line, parang oscillate, parang dot siya from negative and positive y values. Parang usually in graphing software, hindi mo yan mag-graph, pero theoretically ito ang supposed to be itsura niya, mga dots sa positive and negative. Okay, let's apply the exponential functions in problems. So this is a population growth problem. Suppose a quantity y doubles every t units of time. If y sub 0 is the initial amount, then the quantity y after t units of time is given by y is equals to y sub 0 2 times 2 raised to the power of t all over big capital T, big T. Example, at t is equals to 0, there were initially 20 bacteria. Suppose that the bacteria doubles every 100 hours. Give an exponential model for the bacteria as a function of t. So since there are 20 bacteria, initially there are 20 bacteria, and there are the time allotted, the time it takes for the bacteria to double is 100 hours. So replace ang capital T with 100 and the initial y is equals to 0 with 20 bacteria. Dito. So our function is a function of time. F of t is equals to 20 times 2 raised to the power of t all over 100, where t is the unknown variable. Another application is half-life. The half-life of a radioactive substance is the time it takes for half of the substance to decay. If y sub 0 is the initial amount, then the quantity y after t units of time is given by y is equals to y sub 0 times 1/2 raised to the power of t over capital T. Kasi dito population growth, nagdo-double ang quantity. Dito naman sa half-life, shrink down na naman ang quantity by half. By half, nag-shrink down sa population growth, nag-increase by double. Example, suppose that the half-life of a certain radioactive substance is 10 days and there are 10 grams initially. Determine the amount of substance remaining after 30 days and give an exponential model for the amount of remaining substance. First, alam natin that the substance the half-life of the certain radioactive substance is 10 days. So in 10 days, half na ng quantity niya. And there are initially 10 grams of that radioactive substance. So we can find the function of the half-life of the substance as a function of time. So f of t is equals to 10 times 1 over 2 raised to the power of t over 10. Ang capital T nagiging 10 grams. 10 days. 10 days kasi it takes 10 days for the quantity of the substance to shrink in half. Nagiging half na lang ang quantity. Determine the amount of substance after 30 days. Substitute natin ang value t with 30 kasi t is a time. F of t is a function of time. So let's substitute t with 30. F30 is equal to 10 times 1/2 raised to the power of 32. 10. 30 divided by 10 is 3. So we can simplify 10 1/2 and times 1/2 raised to the power of 3. 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4. 1/4 times 1/2 is 1/8. So 1/8 times 10. That is 1.25 grams. So in 30 days, magiging 1.25 grams na lang ang quantity ng radioactive substance. So exponential equations na naman tayo. What is an exponential equation? It is an equation in which the variable occurs in an exponent. So parang exponential function na siya, pero instead of a function, it is an equation. So it will be equated to another exponential expression. Example, 9 raised to the power of 4x is equal to 3 of x. Now, not an example. X raised to the power of 6 is equal to 4. X is raised to the power of 9. Bakit kaya ito hindi example? Kasi, based sa definition ng exponential equation, ng exponential function, kailangan ang form niya is b, which is any number greater than 0 raised to the power of x. So ang b man ito is the x. Tapos ang exponent hindi siya ang x. Sabihin, this is a polynomial equation, not a exponential equation. How to solve an exponential equation? Step 1. We write both sides of the equation as an exponential expression with the same base. So parang kailangan mo gawing same ang number na nasa same ang letter b. Use the 1-to-1 property. B of x is equals to b of y. So Ang meaning yan, example, 8 raised to the power of 3x is equals to 8 raised to the power of x minus 2. Sabihin, since pares ang base, that this implies na the exponents din are the same. But 3x is equals to x minus 2 based on the one-to-one property. Or b of x equals to b of y, then x is equals to y. Okay, example. Find the value of x in the exponential equation. 3 raised to the power of 2x is equals to 81. 3 raised to the power of 2x equals to 81. We first gawin natin same base. Since ang 3 ang base dito, let's make 81 a base, an exponential expression with base 3. So 3 raised to the power of 4 is equals to 81. Kasi we are trying to make both of this the same. So since one-to-one property, 2x is equals to 4. So find now the value of x. So x is equals to 2. Exponential inequalities na naman. An exponential inequality is an inequality in which a variable occurs in the exponent. So pares lang sa exponential equation, pero inequality siya, may greater than, less than, equal, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Example, 4 raised to the power of 2x is greater than or equal to 16 raised to the power of 6x. Now, natin example, 8 raised to the power of x is less than x raised to the power of 4. But, personally, last time, the problem here is this siya the same form as exponential function. Kasi ang supposed to be, the form is b of x, where b is a number greater than 0. Since ang dito is the x itself, sabihin hindi siya exponential inequality. How to solve an exponential inequality? If b is may apat na dito. If b is greater than 1, then and b of x is greater than b of y, then x is equals to y. So sabihin na if b is greater than 1 and same base siya for both sides, tapos ang exponent na different, sabihin the left exponent is greater than the y exponent. So pares lang din kung the other way around, then the left exponent is less than the y exponent. Kung ano naman kung if b is greater than 0 but less than 1, so basically mga fraction, mga improper fraction, mga improper fraction, mga 1/2, mga 1/3, 2/5, basta hindi magiging greater than 1, pero hindi din magiging less than 0. And b of x is greater than b of y, then x is less than y. So parang binaliktad lang siya. Kung fraction na less than 1, then ibaliktad ang exponent, ang pag-solve ng exponent. Ang steps dito, rewrite both sides of the equation as an exponential expression with the same base. So pares lang sa exponential equation. Apply the appropriate property in solving exponential inequality and solve for the x in the inequality. Example, find the solution of the inequality 8 raised to the power of 2x minus 1 is less than or equal to 16x. So let's reduce it to the same base. So since 8 is equals to 2 cube, ang cube na ni-multiply sa 2x minus 1 dito, ni-multiply dito. 16 is equals to 2 raised to the power of 4. So ang 4 ni-multiply sa x. So giging 2 raised to the power of 6x minus 3 is equals to 2. Ay, mali yan ha. This is supposed to be greater than ay less than or equal to 2 raised to the power of 4x. Since b is greater than 2, since the ang base dito is greater than 1, then this equation implies that the left exponent, ang 6x minus 3 is less than or equal to 4x. So walang change walang change ang sign nito, pares pa rin less than or equal to, kasi hindi siya fraction ang base natin, fraction na greater than 1. Take it to mind though, kahit fraction, example 3 over 2, ano siya, so, this still applies to this rule, kasi 3 over 2 is greater than 1, kasi ang fraction kasi less than 1 and greater than 0. And so 6x minus 3 is less than or equal to 4x. Hanapin natin ang value of x. So the x is less than or equal to 3 over 2. Ano lang ka-easy. Last na. Graphing exponential functions. Dito, medyo straightforward siya. How to graph an exponential function. Step 1, construct a table of values. Step 2, plot the points in the Cartesian plane. So parang mag-layout tayo ng mga x values. And then, substitute natin, sabi dito, g of x equals to 1 half over, over 1 half raised to the power of x. So, g of negative 3 equals to 1 half raised to the power of negative 3. So, that will be equal to 8. Gawin nyo lang to for many values of x, hanggang you get a para marami ng points ang makuha nyo. Para kung mag-graph ka, dito makita mo, para may dito ang plot mo, dito ang ano ba to, ang negative 3 and 8, negative 3, and dito ang 8, dito another point dito, another point dito, another point dito, another point, hanggang dyan, hanggang there's a clear line na pwede mong i-draw. Mapangit tong drawing ko, basta gets nyo ha. Drawing nyo ganyan ganyan kay easy. Kailangan nyo i-substitute lang x values to the function, i-plot nyo ang point sa graph, and then mag-draw ka lang ng line na nako-connect na mga dots. Okay, that is all. Thank you and good luck sa exams ninyo.